Alrighty then. Welcome, welcome. Good morning, good morning. Alright. Quick warm-up type beat. Still tired? It's just me? Let's see what line of action has for us today. Probably a bunch of a bunch of people artistically doing nothing. Yes, yes. I find that likely. Bunch of people artistically doing nothing. Had a couple tired days in a row. It is almost the darkest day of the year. 21st of December. Okay, misplaced. Or incorrectly placed that line in the middle there. Is a dude holding a stick? There you go. So we dropped the concept core challenge. Clearly, I'd much rather just be drawing dudes holding sticks like this. It's mainly the Hound project, the world building project, the big character sketching project that we're doing these days. I'd rather be working on that than doing like random throwaway characters every day. And let's mute that. All right, all right. What do we always say? First drawing on the day is kind of like the first pancake. It always looks a little wonky. You gotta get into the groove. So I've been reading that Terry Pratchett book, The Truth. Let's go takes on the truth. I guess it's a bit of a slow start. There's a bunch of like intrigue. Terry Pratchett characterization is always fun. It does feel like one of those big, huge setup, hopefully huge payoff kinds of books. Spending a lot of time setting the stage first, and then presumably later it explodes. I mean, sure. What went wrong? More tilt in the reference. Smaller arms, obviously, always the case. And then this leg, I think, has more of like a unified gesture. And a little bit more space for the scapula, the shoulder girdle. Alrighty. And then I finally went and got some Christmas presents yesterday. Threw in the towel. Been drawing all of them every year. It's close to the point where I've never actually bought anyone a Christmas present. But that's not true. That's not true. Once or twice. Us. Like the game? Like the game where you tap shit rhythmically with your art pen? No. I didn't think so. Us as in hello? I've never seen that before. Hello, Alwyn. How are you today? It's what the weebs say. Ah. Damn, you got me then. Exposed. I am not part of the crew. Just revealed my allegiance. At the same time, I'm sitting here drawing figures in silence 3 hours a day, so I'm probably not a jock either. I don't know what's I am with the nerds. I am definitely with the nerds, just maybe not the weebs. If we're going like school, courtyard, groups of allegiance, I'm definitely with the nerds. I don't know, I don't think there's like a lot of variation in the. Well, that's not true. It's just different. Like Danish school groupings, what's that? Social groupings. 'Cause, I mean, we don't really do jocks, but there's still the people who play soccer versus the people who don't, the boys who don't. I feel like at my high school it was like, I don't know that we had theater kids, but then we'd have like musical kids instead, right? That's definitely like a grouping that you could be part of. Is like the artistic music guys. They might do drugs, but only like downers. That's the wackest shit. Let's try that pose again. There's a subtle S curve here that I'm not getting. And then no and then. I gotta at least believe that she's supporting her weight on that leg. Good evening, awesome chads. Interesting vibe you bring. Good evening yourself. Well, it's good morning here. It's good morning here. Dude, autism chads might be so actually correct. Well, you're 50% right. You're 50% right. You call him like you see him. Curulus? Curulus. And how are you doing? Shit, man, drawing's hard. This one's annoying because I like the gesture a lot, but I having trouble finding it. Worrying about silver prices. How come? Do you own a lot of silver or do you not own enough? You don't own enough, so you're so dumb. Have they been skyrocketing? I know that gold's been doing well. Must be kind of the same tendency with those two, right? Hard to imagine a global market in which gold is like on top and silver is like worse than bonds. It's skyrocketed. Well, no reason worrying about that now. Mother, these legs. Will probably continue to rise. Well, then don't sweat it. Just buy, right? Left leg here is the weight-bearing leg. It needs to be straight. Yeah, you could. Doesn't hit the same. Sunk cost fallacy? Now, the reason I wouldn't buy is because, you know, be greedy when others are fearful, be fearful when others are greedy type shit. Silver ends the Fed. Huh? I was trying to LARP along, but I don't know what that one means. Oh, well, outperforms paper money IOUs. Still a little bit lost. Oh well. It's because I don't know what the Fed is in this case. In this, Sir, this is a Wendy's. No, 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 no. Let him cook. Let him cook. We're not even drawing fine butts. That's the problem. SMH. I'm a little bit mad at this one. I get the left leg. I fully get. I understand it. The right one is tricky, man. Good morning. Good morning. All right, let's move on. It's supposed to be a warm-up. Fine, fine. Silver is apparently great this morning. Yeah, silver is doing good. I'm doing just fine. No, I'm doing good too. I'm doing good too. Do you ever immediately, whenever you ask the question, whenever you answer the question, "How are you?" with less than like fucking ecstatic, bro? Do you ever go, "Well, but I really don't have shit to complain about. So let me just amend my answer." I'll go like, "I'm doing fine. I'm doing fine," and then I'll go, "What type of shitty? I don't have any business being just fine." W. Didn't get drone strike today. W. I mean, to be fair, potentially my life is is more goated. So I mean, maybe it's easier for me to say that shit. We're doing good. We're spending most of our hours drawing. That's pretty based, as they say. And most of the others were spending, well, a lot of the others were spending climbing. That's not the past couple days because my wrist has been tweaky, but you know. Clearing your head as you feed your sourdough starters. Hey, that sounds good, man. That sounds good. If you're in a position to make sourdough, you gotta answer good when people ask you how you are, right? Hi, hello, you're a big fan. Hi, Dave Strider, welcome. The oldie face cam. What about it? Is there a new meta? I guess people be VTubing now. It's a rougher morning from a drawing perspective, but you can win every day. Please don't. I was gonna go, yeah, sure, go ahead, but I'd rather not be on live asking for butt pics from viewers. So please no, please don't do that. Holy shit, we're doing several conversations at once this stream. Sourdough, one of the top types of bread for sure. One of the top types of bread. Garlic bread, that one's pretty good. It's pretty good. Sourdough gets hate? I haven't seen that shit. Man, YouTube drama these days, huh? I have been drawing. You gotta address all the chatters. I have been drawing for, yeah, I don't know. It's the all my life thing. Then it's like then it's like about 10 years of trying as much as I can. And then it's about 3 years of as hard as I can being like actually an efficient amount of effort. And now, of course, back to the sourdough conversation. You're growing rye and string white ones. So okay, so I'm a sourdough. I'm an enjoyer, not an understander, unfortunately. Different flour types. I see. I see. We have a lot of rye bread in Denmark, but it's like very. It's always like super whole grain. Which is nice. It's like good and healthy. Denmark instead of something cool like Holland. You think the Netherlands are cool? Historically, sure. Well, historically, didn't Denmark control those motherfuckers? Maybe I'm wrong. I might be wrong. History is not my strong suit. This is an interesting new exercise. I've never had enough of a chat that I have to pick the conversation. Thanks for following, Dave. Thanks for following. Oh, you figured out that much of the chat was going on over on Twitch. I've noticed in more skilled streamers that they have that ability to slip in and out of conversational topics. Go where the gold is, not just where the chat is, or not just where any chatter is. You're good, Dave. I have like a centralized chat where I can see everything that happens. I do think the latency is lower on Twitch, though. It's much lower on Twitch. Right. All right. I feel like I'm being a bit too mindless about these gestures. I would like to be a little bit more intentional with them. A little late, but thanks for the correction, Curulus. All right, let's do the 1-2 punch. Let's try and hit him with first like more of like a gestural. He's got a twisting thing going on here. And then once we have that, let's go in, knock that back, and be a little bit more constructional. Just do enough of the face to establish a little bit of perspective here. We don't need to get any likeness or anything. The Dutch are infamous for their golden age that profited off of, you know, yeah, man. Ugly time of history. And then we be more constructional with this one. Watching me draw is like watching a wizard perform arcane magic. Oh, thank you, so kind. A lot of it is mileage and practice, but it's also these are a lot of duh moments, but I'll give them to you anyway. It's also a lot of like deliberate practice, right? So how I kind of structure my drawing practice is I'll do slightly more random, mindless stuff like this, where I'm just kind of drawing figures, doing my best with the knowledge that I have. And then once I've done that a little bit, I'll go, oh, this part of the shoulder I kind of struggled with representing well. And then I'll do a couple of studies of shoulders, rib cages, rib cage shoulder connections. How does the scapula connect to the clavicle, for example, shit like that. And then I'll go, okay, I learned something new. Let me try to apply that the next time I need to construct a shoulder like that. And then I go back to reference and I use that knowledge. And then, of course, the ultimate test is to do it once in a while just from imagination. But it's a lot of like identify uncertainty, work targetedly on that uncertainty, and then try it again. And then you go through that loop hundreds of times over many years. Yeah, and you're going to see improvement. It's going to feel more natural. If you look at things, you can draw them. Damn, truth nuke. Definitely helps to look at the things. Make some intentional observations about them. See, and then you become aware of like mistakes that you tend to make, and then you try to counter those. For example, a big mistake that I do a lot these days is I will not give the shoulder enough space. So if we knock this drawing back right now, and I try to draw the rib cage that I have drawn, right? This shoulder is like here, this shoulder is like out here. And though I do want him to be pulling his scapula and shoulder forward, I don't think there's like a whole clavicle of distance between this point and this point. So I think I've collapsed his shoulder a little bit. And that's a mistake that I tend to do quite a lot these days. So you become aware of typical mistakes that you make, and then you want to practice countering those as well. And then with time, because you're aware of your more typical mistakes, say you don't make enough space for the shoulders, you start to look for that one more. And then when you look for that one more, you'll catch that mistake more. Then over time, you'll make it less. That's the idea. I'm drawing with reference right now. That's a big one, right? I'm not inventing this out of thin air. But I'm trying to still, when drawing from reference, not just copy angles, but let it be informed by my knowledge of whatever I'm drawing. Thank you, kind words. This is pogged up. Me when the streamer says something useful to my drawing practice. Dude. Uh, right, what were we doing? We were doing a more constructional pass over our gestural pass. I do this on stream a lot, where I reiterate my intention with a drawing. On stream, I do it aloud. When I'm just me, I'll honestly, I might do it aloud anyway. But I really believe in having very specific intentions with what you're drawing, because then it's easy to see when you fuck up. Like the best fellow you've ever followed. That's quick, but thanks. Call him like you see him, huh? You like my moxie? You like my chutzpah? My gumption? My je ne sais quoi? Dude, you gotta get, you gotta tone down the, the racial shit though. The religious shit. The my specific identity is the only valid one shit. Twitch might ban you. Yeah, Twitch might do that. I might do that. And another one. And another one. Good. As long as we're all in agreement. And another drawing. And let's try to do, okay, well, I don't know what he's doing. Give me someone who's doing something. Give me someone performing an action. Doesn't exist. Oh, there was a guy with a bow. But I didn't like his pose. Oh yeah, this guy's like weaving strands of time or something. That's an action. Billy Harrington, who dat? Start gestural. He's leaning, hips forward. He's a little bit down into his knees. Don't look it up. Okay. He's a little bit in his knees like that. And then strong, angular gestures in the arms. Looking down at his work. Kinda forgot the hips and went straight into the legs. Always remember the 3-finger gap. This little 3 fingers wide space below the aces before the start of the leg cylinder. Right, is Perseus actually the one who kills Medusa? I never liked the mirror interaction in that story. Right, because the point is he looks at her in his shield and then he's fine. Because it's fine to look at Medusa in a mirror. But what has snuck its way into pop culture is that you can use a mirror to turn a Medusa into stone, which makes so much more sense. Too much bent leg. Damn, this guy's strong. Cool. Is this maybe the gesture? It looks like an ant person. It's supposed to it's supposed to be a headset that he's wearing. He's wearing a headset. I don't know, man. He's just like a guy I drew. I'm not too attached to it. You'd redraw it. Oof. Looks like he's about to wreck a fool. No, man, he's you're not getting it. He's weaving strands of time, bro. He's like, he's controlling the fate of the universe by weaving like little, what's that, the yarn weaving game? That's what 100% what's going on. He's shoveling his Balatro deck. That's pretty good. Although a little inefficient because that happens on its own. Holding R for a good joker. This is good. Chad is Balatro pilled like me. Hope he has a blueprint Joker. Nah, but that was, well, no. I mean, I guess it just sucks when you do get the blueprint Joker, but then you get jack shit else, and like you just don't have it in your hand for those first 600 on the boss of the first ante. Like you hold R, you get the polychrome Joker, you get the rare Joker because you skip the first two blinds, but then the boss blind, you just don't get those full houses that you were looking for. Greed got to. Let's just do a second pass on that one real quick. Exactly, man. Give me Gros Michel or give me death. That would solve your problem. So one thing is torso feels a little short. Low hand is a bit big. Also, I think we could exaggerate. Art of Mario, thanks for following. We could exaggerate this straight on the right side. Loving the sketches you've been doing recently. Thank you, thank you. You know, I've been enjoying those as well. It's nice. I'm really happy to be doing more sketches lately and less finished pieces. Because for one, it's like it's a good way to add more value to something you're developing rather than just do like one finished piece. You get to do, I don't know, 10 characters, man. But it's also, I think it's just a really nice form of practice for me. Because I have done a lot of like very ambitious finished pieces, and the sketching is kind of has been a lot more uncomfortable for me. Nice to catch a stream. Yeah, for sure, man. For sure. They're at this time every weekday. So they're nice and easy to catch. Holy shit, is this guy buff? Good thing you work from home. Who, me? Do I have a big boy job? What even is that? Yes, you. I do. I freelance art. But I mean, I just started recently. I've been studying for the past 3 years. I'm still actually on that education. Graduate this January, but I do have some freelance illustration gigs right now, which I'm very thankful for. Because that's kind of the dream, you know? Dude, this is crazy. So he's got those obliques so strong, and they're also he's tensing his obliques, right? But the obliques so strong that you're actually getting oblique definition all the way to the abs, which that one's kind of wild. And then he's got very toned serratus as well. But then this is like, it almost looks like he's got more than that, because when his serratus here goes under the lat, it also has like a very clear border and like wedging to it. That's wild. Aces point, aces point. Yeah, that one's interesting. I don't know if I've seen that before. I haven't noticed it before. Like, it looks like the same interaction as oblique serratus just happening again over here. All right, let me think. Was that the big one? Is that the big one? I think it is. I've talked about this before, but a big thing I look for when drawing from reference is anything in the reference that surprises me. Anything in the reference of, say, okay, I'm looking at the anatomy of like a trained individual, like a very fit man. What anatomy do I expect to see, and how do I expect it to look? Well, if I see something that surprises me, that means there's something there that I didn't know. And then just making a note of all the things in a reference that surprise me is I think a good way to notice new things, make new observations, learn new shit. And this one, this repetition of the oblique serratus interaction when the serratus wedges into the lats, and the teres major. That's a new one to me. That's a surprise. I'll try to remember that. You found an exercise that forces you to think deeply of what you're doing. Meditation? No, hit me. Hit me. All right. Cool. Noted. I have made a promise to myself to try and invent figures every day. I also have this busy street thing that we did yesterday, which is supposed to be a framework in which I can potentially invent figures. So let's do that a little bit. Study 3D model, rotate and do the pose in the same angle. In the same angle from imagination. Check mistakes, repeat profit. You can definitely do that. That's fun. Have you ever done the one where you draw a reference from another angle than the one you're viewing it at? I actually like that one quite a bit. I actually like that one quite a bit. I have not tried a tour box. I had to Google it. It's like a, yeah, it's like a mini keyboard on the side. So a really good friend of mine that I studied with did get one of those. Because he was like, this is the way, this is the fucking play, man. It's gonna change art. And then I checked in with him once in a while. I was like, well, did it? Is it amazing? And he was like, nah, it's whatever, man. So he kind of talked me out of it himself. Are you a tour box Andy, Dave? You left-handed? Oh, me too. Oh, okay, fair enough. You're just holding out hope. Well, forget what I said about my bro saying it's it does nothing. I'm sure it'll fix all your problems. I think this guy should be a little bit bigger. And I think this head should not be that big. It's tricky to manage scales of complex perspective scenes like this. Something I'm doing right now is I'm just trying to, among other things, look at the sizes of heads. Heads will be smaller the further back we get, right? And of course, this guy's sitting, so technically he's a little bit extra further away than this woman who's just like, or this person who's just like standing there. Because this head is higher, right, than this head. But I think if I get a general like gradient of heads growing smaller that way, I think we'll be good. I didn't promote shit. I said I kind of said specifically that do your own research before you buy or whatever. I guess I spread awareness. Um, let's at least do like one honest figure construction here. Um, busy street. What do people be doing on a busy street? Well, mainly they be like walking and talking and standing. Um, flexing, posing, stunning. That could be the title of my first art book. If I make sure to fill it with like anatomy, figure drawing, and I don't know, tricking, skaters. Just give you 10% profits. You don't care. You clearly do care. Okay. I guess we're not going to be doing that title then. So this guy has obviously passed out for some reason. Some people are trying to help. This guy's trying to help him. I think this person's trying to help him too. This, with some good faith, this is like a 911 call. I also kind of want some people who've just like kind of spotted it and are just like hanging around just to be safe, but don't really want to get involved. That's this guy. You really doubt two people would be trying to help? Yes! 1 accent point for Jacob. 1 accent point for Jacob. I'm Danish. But I've kind of been... I just always hated how it sounded when Danish people have like a thick accent. Whoops. So I kind of quite intentionally tried to get as natural as possible early with English, because I don't know, man. I knew that it was a language that I wanted to speak a lot. I knew it was like the international standard, right? That street doopy looking empty. What do you mean? But I mean, eventually we'll get there. So, okay, so what's wrong here? You're not quite in perspective, in the right Z axis, I think. You're also, because you're so far away and we're doing curvilinear, you should be more viewed from the side and less from above. Some of that we can remedy just by stretching. Still too much, man. Fill the street. I mean, eventually, if we keep going. Are you guys American? With such a bleak outlook on human nature and kindness. One commentary point, Jacob. Yeah. Albanian grew up in Greece. I think that's closer. Head still whack. Would I ever do a critique stream where fans can submit their art and I point out tips to improve? I would ever do that. Yeah. I would ever do that. I don't have any plans currently. Thinking probably at some point when the platform grows a little bit more, it's going to be a little bit more viable. Let's try and find the space where this guy would actually fit. Right, something like that feels better. That's another really good exercise that I just forced myself to try and do, and I actually kind of recommend doing it more specifically than what I'm doing, because I'm really just doing like very basic gestures here. But take the same pose and then rotate that in perspective, right? Is another way about to get real intentional about the forms that you're drawing. But I'd recommend being a little bit more strict with the way you do it than what I did here. Maybe if you did this exercise yourself, I'd recommend doing like box mannequins, because box mannequins are, one, easier to draw, and two, it's easier to tell when you do them wrong. It's just easier to tell the orientation of like a geometric shape than it is to tell the orientation of softer forms, right? But settling on a system for a box mannequin that you like drawing, and then turn that shit in perspective. If you have the patience, do it with the same pose, right? AKA perform black magic. Well, the box mannequin is definitely the reasonable way to start doing that. And then you develop like your own mannequin systems for different situations or different levels of complexity. Of course, it can be good to start by learning somebody else's mannequin system, and then you can adapt it when you feel like it. I'm not happy with my foot shorthands right now. That's my mannequins, and it's like my gestures. Feels a little unnatural, that. I try to avoid like super tucked elbows. Tends to be very intentional when we tuck our elbows like that. rarely happens as like a natural pose. Big hand. Okay, let's do the other one too. If I had to put it in a ratio, how many imaginative pieces versus studies do I do? It's like 80-20 studies versus imaginative. I I don't know what's the ideal there. I just know that I want to be doing both, and the easy one for me to do is studies. It's just more comfortable for me to do, so that happens more often. Um, yeah, I just try to make sure that I do both every day. That's how optimized I am with that. And then I like to do the imaginative shit after I've done something from reference, with the idea that maybe some of the observations I did from reference will sneak their way into the imaginative stuff. Or I'll try to focus on them when doing the imaginative stuff. You can see now why I've been improving quickly. Yeah, studies. I think studies are necessary, but I just also think imaginative drawing is necessary. Of course, we're all guessing, man. We're all just guessing. But that's been my impression. Listening to pros, experiencing for myself, what helps, what gets me progress, what feels like learning and what feels like wasting time. You think I've been improving quickly? I have such a hard time gauging that. Oh man. It seems to be right. People are saying that. So it seems to be correct. Once again, bring out that tuck a little bit. It's not so intense. Good one, good one. Biggest improvement you see is in proportions and gesture. Okay, what are you comparing? What's your basis for diagnosing the improvement? What pieces of mine are you comparing? Certainly areas that I'd be happy to improve in, and some of the stuff I practice the most. The sci-fi sketches. Versus what? What's the control group that has pieces from like 6 months ago? Well, fair enough. It always feels like such a crapshoot to me figuring that shit out, because sometimes you just randomly do like a good drawing. Sort of like unintentionally. And then when you look at it's hard to look at your pieces in aggregate, because I'll go over my 6 months ago pieces and I'll go, well, that drawing was kind of good, and then that one was not so good, but then that one was fine, and then I'll go to my pieces now and I'll go, oh, that drawing's fine, but that one's not so good, but that one's fine, and then it's like, well, what did I learn? It's kind of the same, huh? I don't believe that hand. Sure. It's not much better, but it's... Anyway, oh, look, shit, we rotated the same guy. At least we tried. All right. Then let's move on. All right. We have this guy from yesterday. I think this guy is looking a little bit floaty. I would like to remedy that. And when I see that a piece is looking a little bit floaty, This can be in the sketch stage. It can be sometimes it's even in paint. You get to a painting stage and you're like, but okay, but the structure feels kind of off. When I get that sense, I will knock back the entire piece. If I'm doing like, if I'm in the paint stage, that'll typically just be like, put a white layer on top and set it to like 50% opacity. And then I will go over the piece with a bit of like a mannequinization structure pass, doing essentially the same shit that we just did in the other document. Let's do just a little bit of a ribcage opposed pelvis sort of movement here. If I have been improving a lot, I also just have been drawing a lot. I think I think that's a big factor, most likely. Also, let's do just a little bit of like a perspective guide here. Need the patience I have to make clean line art. Do you? If you don't like doing clean line art, well, I don't know. It depends what you want to do, obviously. I do line art because I don't have the patience for rendering. I do line art because I dislike rendering. But I have like an Illustrator profile, right? All right. And when you make that, when you do that construction pass, it often helps to have a little bit of like a perspective grid to place all that shit in. To place all that stuff in. Yep. I also I want a reference for these boots. Boots are not firmly enough planted in my visual library that I can just whip them out, no reference. Let's see, there we go. This is where it's kind of a problem that I don't like my shorthands for constructing feet. The model is too feminine. What if I want it to be feminine? I mean, you're right. It's big legs. It's a slightly wide pelvis. We'll fix the hand in post. I don't know, man. Well, that's what it is. It's asymmetrical. Unintentionally made the hips wider on the other side. That's a big one. Look at how far off the placement of the neck was. All right, we'll be right back. It's a short foot. Damn, you got me. You got me. Um, quick bathroom break. We'll be right back. Yeah, see you in a bit. And we are so back. Someone spilled his drink while he's away. Good reminder to take a sip of the tea, stay hydrated. Hey, Nazilal. Um, so something about this hand, this arm, how straight it is, feels unnatural to me. I am drinking tea. Chamomile? Just chamomile. So I guess it's an infusion. It's not proper tea. Yeah, sure, why not? It's good. It's nice. It reminds me of having like a sore throat. And then my parents going, "Oh, you got a honey and chamomile. Fix that shit right up." No problem. Top three artists. Oof. Oof. Top three artists is a good one. Um, okay, you know what? I really fuck with this Chinese artist Madao. That's good shit. I really like that. Um, and then we gotta go. One of my comics artist goats. But which one? Which one? Is it like Scalera? I don't. Simon Di Maio. Ooh. Top 3 is tough too. Um, Dude, you stun locked me. Kim Jacinto, maybe. Maybe Neskane. Maybe Art of Maki. Dude, I'm screwed. I can't do that. But we have to. We have to. We can't bail now. All of them slap. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Um, we'll do Mado, Neskane, Diamo. That's right now. That's my honest top 3 artists. And walk away. Walk away. That's my honest top 3 artists I like the most right now. Whose art I like the most right now. If we're gonna go of all time, the definitive list, we're gonna need some more time to think. That's Jacob's right now off the cuff. Really, really good shit. But it's not just the shapes, dude. It's actually what I'm more blown away by is the form. Is Liamo's portraits are so insanely good. I'm sure I'll make the list one day, Dave. It's not right now though. It is not right now. Tomorrow. Yeah, that's tomorrow Jacob's problem. That one right there. I don't know that this ever happens, but we could make him so cut, so shredded that he's got that double serratus moment that we just observed off the other guy. Obliques all the way to the abs. And then magically, when the serratus inserts or wedges under the Latin shit, we kind of get that feeling again for some reason. Well, we know the reason, but it's still crazy. I don't know, man. We want a pinch and stretch, please. We want a pinch and stretch sort of moment here. Just a little bit more of that at least. Art of Mario, hit me with your top 3 right now. Current top 3 artists. Well, do it a little bit more off the cuff like me. Also, you had all that time that I had to think. You had that time to think. No excuses. You used to be a Leak Splash fanboy. Alex Flores, Cheng Wei Pan. My favorite splash artist is definitely Ming Chen Chen. Mona Lisa, Da Vinci, Pepsi logo. Pepis, Pepis. Yeah. Yeah, I like his personal illustrations more. I'm not a splash art Andy. I like his like gouache style a lot. I don't paint really, but if I were like a big painter, I think I'd paint a lot like Ming Chen. Yep. 4,000 by 5,000 because if I draw small, there's no loss in quality. Because I can do something like this in this document. I can have like, I can stay in the same document and still know everything that's in the document. It's just easier than making a billion documents and searching around for the files. Kolosov would be high on your list. That's an interesting one if you're like a splash artist, a splash art guy. But I guess you said you've pivoted a bit. You like Simon Sosofsky? Man, Adrian Bush is really good. It's just all it is he doesn't do the type of art that I really fuck with the most. But if we're talking like painters, Adrian Bush is definitely one of my top guys. All right. Well, so to me, oh, and I did the same thing with the fucking space in the fucking shoulder area. Oh my god. And of course, I didn't really do the feet, actually. Let's just get back to the shoes a little bit. On your top 10 for sure, but great. Okay, okay. Just because you said Kolosov. He's a little bit in that same sphere to me. Who else do Kolosov heads like? Adrian Bush sometimes. Jablonski. Okay, okay. Yeah, that's right. That's right. Kolosov heads like Jablonski. Like Drabaev, Eitan Sana. Oh no, that okay. It wasn't a crash. It looked like one. Who else is in that sphere? You fuck with Mullins and Jamie Jones? Writing to file. Actually, there still might be a crash. Okay, twas not. Twas not. Who doesn't? I don't know. They're not in my top 10 artists. They're obviously masters of their craft. I just care less about their craft specifically than other people's crafts. So I guess I'm not asking like, do you fuck with them? I'm asking, do you fuck with them? Like dead ass? He's the most old masters like digital artist. Yeah, yeah, yeah. You fuck with that? It's kind of hard to say how much. No, you get ads halfway through the yaps. Oh, I'm sorry. They're all great for different reasons. Well, but you started with the top 3, man. Something about what you can't, if you can't take the hits, I don't know. What's the right analogy? If you don't like medicine, don't give it to people. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I think I nailed it. Stuck the landing. Get a taste of your own rocks in the glass house. Stones. He taking big step. What if he taking smaller step? Really struggling with that shoe. Gerald Perel. I was gonna say Gerald Perel at some point. Herbie Wang is an interesting pick. And you're on Maki, yeah. You're an SMV, bro. Just like the juiciest colors ever. Certainly not bad. Certainly not bad. Little bit of underside of the boot and then just fucking just call it. It's fine. It's fine. Okay. Regardless of me not really liking everything about this construction pass, this would be what I do, right? So I have this sketch. I'm like, it feels a little bit wobbly, a little bit uncertain. Then I'd go in and I'd do like a construction pass. And now we use this as a guide for polishing up this sketch, right? That is the strat. Now let's just do that and then we can call it a day, call it a piece. That's part of what's so nice about art is even though there are quite objective qualities that we can evaluate art on, even though there's certain things where you can just go, yeah, this piece is kind of just better at doing this. This piece has better perspective. That piece has more physically accurate lighting. The things that really resonate with people, the things that make people have like favorite artists. vary from person to person. There's still, even in all the objective qualities and all the objective evaluation we can make of art, we can do to art, there's still a little bit of room of, well, but that feels nicer to me. I like this more. And I just kind of do. And I don't know, those difference in like personal taste and what we prioritize or enjoy more in art, that little shred of subjectivity has always really spoken to me. I think that's part of like with shit like math. It's part of what always, I mean, made me good at math as a kid, but also kind of made me bored with it. Is there's like one answer. It's just that. That's kind of the right one. And we have elements of that in art, but I think it feels good to also have elements of, yeah, but my answer to the equation is cool. so so it's kind of also right, but just in a different way. My emotions matter. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That feels good. That's a nice thing. It's a nice thing to have. Anama, how you doing? How you doing? Hi, hello. Boot. We made him skinnier in the constructive past, so let's just go ahead and apply that. Often a bunch of this shit you can just kind of do with a liquify tool. That's nice. I'm trying to sell some quite ambitious perspective, so I think it's important that even in the thigh, we can tell that the one going toward us is thicker. Okay, how are we doing? I'm thinking fix boots, fix face, give the anatomy a pass, and then just get out of this drawing. So I'm growing a little tired of it. I think I want to make him a little bit younger than the face is kind of currently looking. Thoughts on Disney investing $1 billion into OpenAI? I don't know. Misplay? Stupid, dumb, annoying? I don't think beyond that. You? Well, they saw the limitless potential. They saw that they they saw the future and it looked like money. Yeah, that'd be my guess. Isn't that kind of like exactly what it is, even on a surface level? Isn't that kind of like the public disclosure of the matter? Is it's to produce AI content, Disney AI content? No? That was my impression, but I gotta be honest, I haven't looked into it very much. Yeah, I don't know, me too, but I don't think that changes that that's what they want to do. Shit, fuck, man. I guess you can't win them all. I'm not happy with this drawing, but that's what happens. I also don't care about it that much. Maybe that's what did it. I don't think lack of trust in reality is something anyone wants. Not when you put it like that. But maybe if it like was like bracketed by dollar signs. Like maybe if if you stylize it. Give me a second. I never typed dollar signs. There you go. There you go. Maybe if you stylize it like that, I think people, some people want it, right? Yeah, man. There's plenty of those. Yeah, if you put like a TM on the end of it, I'm sure some people will be in the market. I don't know, man. I'm not too worried about AI, and that might be naivete, but it's naivete I'll stand by because what I care about with art, the thing about art that makes me care about it is that it is communication with another human being. It is that, oh, you had something to say and you wanted to tell me about it and you wanted to do that visually. That's kind of like an interesting premise for some novel communication. Um, if it's just a generator and a button, man, I don't care about art as much anymore. Now, what is going on now? Well. What's all this then? I'm Idris Elba, actor, producer, rapper. I'm pretty sure I can make the little coffees then. You guys seen, you guys seen Bitch I'm Idris Elba recently? It's it's really good. Producer, actor, rap feature, primary school teacher. Idris Elba can do anything, man. It only matters when a human with all their limitations does an impressive artwork. Yeah. I think I agree with that as well. And I think I'm actually more attracted to like the virtuosic nature of art than I give myself credit for, or that I like to think. Because I would love like the romantic idea is, oh, I just care about art for the communication and the messaging and the stories and the narrative. But I think a big part of the appeal is, wow, you did that. That's crazy. I think that is a big part of the appeal for me as well. What in what context? But that almost feels it almost feels a little immature. Like, oh, that's cool because it's hard. But that is part of it, man. Okay, can we finish this drawing? I can draw some other shit that I care more about. Right, right. We're not disputing that. We're just saying that's kind of boring. I'm not disputing that. I'm just saying that's kind of boring. And I don't care for it. That A art, that whoa, A art, AI art is gonna become some sort of industry standard. Be gonna come. You want to believe in a world where it isn't boring, dude? I can just make my own art. I can be happy in an AI infested world by just making my own art. I'm not gonna surrender that art can be interesting without a human behind it. That's the point of it for me. This is like clothing. This it would be nice if this read as a hand. Well, I also believe that media won't just die because I believe that even though AI will cover a lot of media, there will be plenty of media made that's not AI produced. I don't think we'll outgrow human produced media. I don't think we'll outgrow artisanal media on the whole, just somewhat. You want it to become good as well. I'm just saying, by virtue of it being AI art, I don't. It's not going to be that for me. It's not going to be that. And I'm not saying, and you shouldn't like it either. I'm just saying I won't like it by virtue of its sourcing, by virtue of the production methods. Remove the stutter in post. It sounds short-sighted. I don't know. I know what I know until I don't know it, dude. With the facts that reality has supplied me right now, it would seem impossible for AI art to be properly enjoyable to me. Now, if you change the facts, if you show me different facts later on that make it seem probable, I'll change my mind. Until then, I'll make my conclusions with the knowledge that I have available. Okay, and now we just like just copy the anatomy from the construction pass here. What's going on? Oh, it's got the, of course. Yes. And then I guess we should delete it because he's not like naked. Anyway. Definitely spent more time with this drawing than I planned on today. That's fine. AI takes away the struggle, but also fulfillment. There is no prize to perfection, only an end to pursuit. I thought I could end all suffering, but after every equation was solved, there was only solitude. Yeah, man. Victor on AI. Yeah. It's the invention of the plow. So, okay, but I'm not taking away from you that the plow can really take away a million jobs and become the new standard. But what I will say is plows don't spark joy, man. Not to me. They help us produce food, which is a necessity. But it's not like the work. And I don't know everybody, but I think plow doesn't spark joy, man. Simplest way I can put that. It's a harsh environment. You're being crowded a little bit. I don't know that you're necessarily completely wrong, but it's just, to me, the art thing is very much like it's a recreational activity. Um, I do it and consume it because the production and conversation about it sparks joy. Yep, you're right. I don't dispute anything in that sentence. It's all correct. And I think you can make significant art that utilizes AI tools too. I do think that it just has to be like in a very limited capacity where you're not taking away agency or intention or um, artfulness. It's not limiting me. I'm not gonna be. Well, but we're disputing the better. You must realize that the better here is disputed. Dude. It doesn't have wabi sabi. It doesn't have wabi sabi the way that human made objects have wabi sabi. I want to challenge the limiting yourself point that you had earlier. Um, because I don't think I am. I think if you show me AI art that has real artistic value and that feels interesting and good to me, then I'll change my mind. But until then, and until you show me that it has the potential to do that, I'll just hold in like a not a lot of eggs in this basket sort of way that I don't believe in it as a source of like meaning and sparking of joy for me. Oh no, we're running out of stream time. We'll have to continue this great source of entertainment, this highly milkable conversation some other time. Woe is me, the streamer who just filled an hour with talking about AI. What are we doing here? That's what we're doing here. Well, it's a sketch and the drawing is done. Um, Although it is not my favorite sketch ever, I think the point I was trying to make, what I wanted to show today still stands. And it's that I started with, and let me try to find that for you real quick, a sketch that looked something like this, something like that. And it was just a little bit floaty for my taste. And when I encountered that, I knock back the sketch, I knock out maybe like a perspective grid, maybe not, and I do like a construction pass. Then you have this construction pass, and once you have this, you can then use this as a guide to make your sketch, hopefully, quite a bit less floaty. That's the idea anyway. And as a general methodology, although I've seen better results than this, this is a really good way to impose some structure in your sketches in a way that lets you draw more freely when you're first sketching out your drawing, and then afterwards you can help it out with that structure. All right. That's all I have for you guys today. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for talking. Thanks for joining. See you in the next one. Until then, have a good one. Goodbye.